Welcome back to session 2 of the CV writing and cover letter tutorial. My name is Maria Glover. In this session, we will be discussing the purpose of a CV. We'll also be discussing the tips of writing an effective CV, and we'll be looking at transferable skills to make you look more qualified for the position. Now, let's pause for a moment. What do you think the purpose of a CV is? And this is where most people get it wrong. It will surprise you that the purpose of a CV is for you to get an invitation for an interview, but not necessarily to get the job. Getting the job requires another skills altogether, which we'll be discussing under the interview skills. But your first purpose is to attract your recruiter with your CV. And the purpose of this session is to give you tips on how to do so and do so effectively. Now let's look at tips for writing a CV. You want to keep it short and simple. Put important information on the first page and make these important information clear and accessible. That's why it's on the first page in the first instance. Use easy words and not hard to understand or ambiguous words. You want to choose the right tone. You don't want to come out as brash or overconfident. Use the right verbs to present your skills and experience. We'll be discussing that in the few slides below. And you want to target your CV to the job you are applying for. This is very, very important. And we'll be talking about this in the next slide. Now let's take a closer look at targeting your CVs. One problem that most job applicants are guilty of is that they send out the same CV for every job application. That's a big error. Sometimes recruiters find CVs not relevant because they haven't included the skills that the job requires. You must research the skills and the experience that is needed for the job, and you must highlight these skills and competencies on your CV, and you must choose the right CV. For example, if you have little or no work experience, you might want to use the skills-based CV to highlight your skills and your competencies. Now let's look at some verbs you can use to describe your experience or your skills. The following verbs are appropriate to use to describe, for example, an achievement you've had in your experience or a skill. For example, let's look at under achievement. We have accelerated, accomplished, achieved, activated, attained, completed, earned, etc. And the list goes on. There's generated, expedited, increased, insured, marketed. These verbs are appropriate to express an achievement you had in the past on your under your work experience or your skills. To express your administrative skills or an administrative position you held in the past, you would want to include or use these verbs: arranged, channeled, chartered, collated, collected, coordinated, dispensed, distributed, established, executed, and so many more. To explain skills in communication, you can use addressed, arbitrated, articulated, briefed, communicated, conducted, contacted, conveyed, corresponded, etc. Under creative, you could use verbs such as authored, changed, conceived, constructed, developed, devised, established, formulated, founded, illustrated, etc. Now, you would notice that these verbs are in the past tense, and also the first person pronoun has been dropped So you don't need to express your skills or your experience as I accelerated, or I did, or I channeled, or I addressed. There's no point in doing that. Go straight to the verb. Arranged, channeled, charted, addressed, arbitrated. That's the standard of writing a CV. Now, here are a few tips for those who want to write a CV with little or no work experience. You want to focus on the following. Highlight your transferable skills and personal accomplishments. You must make them sound important, but also be careful that you don't come across as being too proud or boastful. Also, include relevant experience obtained as a volunteer, an intern, or student. So, transferable skills are those skills that you require for any kind of job. They are not job specifics. They are skills that will make you more efficient and stand out to recruiters. So here are a few examples of transferable skills you could include in your CV. Communication, writing, editing, summarizing, listening, consulting, negotiating, promoting, performing, presenting, teaching, responding. Organization, problem solving, time management, making decisions, leading, meeting deadlines, flexibility, supervising, motivating, resolving, coordinating, delegating, prioritizing. Research, your ability to analyze, investigating, action planning, evaluating, synthesizing, comparing. And interpersonal skills, diplomacy, self-awareness, empathy, approachable, caring, customer service, sensitive, team player. You must know yourself and you must know the skills that you have. So you want to sell yourselves to your recruiter that you have these transferable skills and you are suitable for the position you want from the company. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of session 2 of this tutorial. During this session, we discussed the purpose of a CV, which is to attract the recruiter to invite you for an interview. We looked at tips for writing an effective CV, and we also looked at transferable skills to make you more suitable for the job. In session 3, we will be reviewing samples of CVs, the traditional CV and the skills-based CV. You won't want to miss session 3. Also, I will be introducing you to cover letters, which is a very important part in your application. If you have any questions, please send us an email or post them on our Facebook page. The details will be in the next slide. Thank you for watching and see you in session 3.